The BRSCC BMW Compact Cup is brought to you by Nankang Tyres and Gas Shops.
So the waiting is over. It's time to get the first race of the weekend in the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup underway. And what a battle it's going to be, with Stephen Daly from pole position, Matthew Parks alongside him, and 32 chasing vultures hot on their tail. This is going to be a brilliant start to the weekend. It's over to Andy McEwan for the grid.
Yeah, thanks Jake. Snetterton always produces great racing with the Compact Cup. This weekend should be no exception. Here's how they line up. It's Stephen Daly and Matt Parks on row 1, ahead of Ian Jones and Owen Hunter, whilst Tom Griffiths, David May impressive again there on the third row. Paul Hinton and Gordon McMillan are next, ahead of Ben Huntley and Alan Caulfield inside the top 10. Then Keith Towers and Matt Flowers on row 6. Row 7 for Mark Skeets and David Sharp, ahead of Craig Jameson and Wayne Flint. Then Mikey and Mike Doble on the 9th row together. Rounding out the top 20 are David Ashforth and Aaron Morgan, ahead of Tim Scott Andrews, he should move forward, and Jim Barrett, then Martin Gadsby and Phil Adcock on the 12th row of the grid. Row 13 for James Stanbury and Nick Edmond, row 14 Simon Welch and Andrew Woodbine, then Phil Sharp and Jason Bagley on the 15th row of this very large grid indeed. Craig Arkell and Colin Way, then Brendan Murphy and Liam McGill, who has a 10-second penalty having been excluded from qualifying. So, Stephen Daly on the pole position again. Here's Alan Caulfield inside the top 10. Ian Jones will be looking to try and improve on a pair of third places from last time out at Brands Hatch. We're ready to go. Here at Snetterton, the lights go out. Now, away we go. Good start made by Steve Daly from pole position, but Matt Parks, for my money, has a slightly better launch from the outside of row 1. Ian Jones is going to slot through into third place. I think on board with him there briefly as they make their way down towards the first corner into the right-handers. They all get through safely. Bit wayward there for Jones, so Owen Hunter goes on the inside of him. Takes out a bollard there as he tried to make the move stick, but at the front of the field it is Daly that leads the way. It's Matt Parks in second position. Here's the fight for third. It's between Owen Hunter and Ian Jones, who were inseparable at Brands Hatch last time out. Gordon McMillan runs out a bit wide there at the Wilson hairpin, but I think they all get through more or less safely. On board now with Alan Caulfield, who will be loving this, getting stuck into the top 10 battles. He's the white and purple number 14 car just there that makes its way through the left-hander and Palmer's. Wayne Flint, that is, I think, behind him in the silver car. Down in towards the left-hand hairpin and Agostini go the leading contenders. Daly from Parks, from Jones, from Hunter, from David May, the top 5. David May, another much improved driver over the winter into 2018. Wayne Flint gets past Alan Caulfield there, so Caulfield just losing a little bit of ground here. On board with Keith Towers, he's just behind Mark Skeets and Ben Huntley, and then it is Caulfield next in line. Ben Huntley, one who I thought might have done a little bit better at the start of this season. Ben, 12th place in both the races last time out at Brands Hatch. He's running about 12th in this one as well, having qualified 9th, but he's not had a brilliant start. Keith Towers, meanwhile, qualified 11th. He too has not really made any progress off the line. Cars rocking on the suspensions as they make their way out of Williams and down the back straight. Now this is where Mark Skeets will try to use the slipstream, so Matthew Parks, excuse me, will try to use the slipstream to attack for the race lead. On board with Jones there as well as he goes down the gears into Brundle and Nelson. And it is Daly that will hold on to the race lead for the time being. Matt Parks, I think, is going to be a significant thorn in his side. It's great to see more drivers getting involved in the lead battles, because really at Brands Hatch, Daly had the pace over the rest of the field, and most of the attention was on these two, Owen Hunter and Ian Jones, who were fighting over second place. In both races, actually, Jones had second place early on before Owen Hunter found a way through up at Clearways at the end of the lap, tailing right over the curve there as he turned into the final turn. But Owen Hunter now, as we ride on board now, that was sideways. There was a car pulled over there to the side of the pit straight that I think had laid oil down just past pit entry, and that caught the lead group out. I've never seen that. Cars getting sideways in more or less a straight line there as they accelerate out past pit entry. But that's just put Daly back on the back foot now. Matt Parks is with him again. In towards the hairpin they go. Daly doing his best to try and defend the line, but these 4 cars are nose to tail. We've got Daly from Parks, from Jones, from Hunter, the top 4. And it is a much more competitive showing here from Compact Cup than we had at Brands Hatch, where Stephen Daly, as I said, was really allowed to have it more or less all his own way. He's certainly going to have to work for his race victories here this weekend. On board Ian Jones again, now on board with Owen Hunter in 4th place as we head back down towards the Agostini hairpin. Steve Daly up, sideways again there, and a bit of contact from Matt Parks, and this time it's really opened the door, so Matt Parks going for the race lead, and he's got the inside line for the next corner, which is Hamilton's. It's a tricky left-hander, but through goes Matt Parks. A rare mistake there from Stephen Daly. He got a bit sideways through Agostini. There was then a bit of contact, and now Ian Jones is coming through as well. Ian Jones up the inside in towards Oggins, and that's down to 3rd now for the reigning champion. This is unprecedented thus far in 2018 to see Stephen Daly this far down the order, and with a wheel on the grass into Williams, Owen Hunter goes through as well, and now Stephen Daly's off the podium. Well, what on earth happened there? That all started, I think, when they hit that oil going onto the pit straight, and it just lost Daly momentum, and it gave Matt Parks that impetus that he needed to really get Daly on the back foot. He forced the mistake out of the Scotsman down in towards Agostini, and from then on the door was left wide open for all 3 of them to file through. So new race order then. Matt Parks leads the way, a sideways Ian Jones is 2nd, a damaged Owen Hunter is 3rd, and a frustrated Stephen Daly is 4th, because he will be determined to get back onto those podium positions so as not to hemorrhage too many championship points. He will most definitely see these 3 drivers as his main championship contenders at this early stage of the year, will Stephen, and he knows how important it is to log points whenever you can. Remember, Stephen's gone toe-to-toe with James Gornall for the championship in the last couple of years. James won the title in 2016, and Daly it is who won it last year, but he knows how important every point can be, and he's now starting to try and fight back up the inside of Hunter in towards turn 1. He was almost in the pit wall there trying to make that move stick, which was brave considering the oil that's been laid down there that caught him out a lap ago, but I'm not convinced that Owen Hunter's car is running quite as it should do without that front splitter attached, and so Daly goes through. He's now got Hunter coming back around the outside there. Look at that, Owen Hunter so late on the brakes. Can he stop the car? Yes, actually, which is very surprising. He very nearly actually challenged Ian Jones as well there. I know that Daly's back alongside now, but this is the outside line, the inside for Nelson, because it's a left-hander that leads immediately into an even tighter right-hander. It doesn't look as though anyone's going to duck out of line though, so Jones hangs on for the time being. Daly trying so hard not to get into the back of him. He used all the curb, but gets up the inside. What happened there? Ian Jones all of a sudden was really slow on the apex of Nelson, and so Daly goes through, and most frustratingly for Ian Jones, Owen Hunter's gone back ahead of him as well. Hunter now runs wide at Coppice though, and so Jones is back alongside him. That's the wrong side of the road in towards Murray's though. Can Hunter hang on the inside? Yes, he can, but he'll run deep on the exit, so Jones will get the switch back. Phenomenal racing, as ever, from the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. Last lap ball goes out, though, so we've only got one more time around, and Ian Jones is back into 3rd place. Remarkable stuff. There goes David May in 5th. He's been caught by Tom Griffiths as well, incidentally, so the battle for the final space inside the top 5th is far from settled yet. But Stephen Daly, all things considered, I think he can call this a fairly successful race. He'll be frustrated that Matt Parks looks as though he's on his way to the race victory, but at least Stephen Daly's been able to find a way past the formidable duo that is Ian Jones and Owen Hunter. So Ian Jones, of course, he's looking to try and beat Owen Hunter for the first time this year after, as I said earlier on, Hunter passed him in both races at Brands Hatch, but Hunter passed him in this one, but Jones was having absolutely none of it. Owen Hunter always exciting to watch, isn't he? He's sideways there as he goes up through Palmer's. Back down into the left-hand he goes. The nerves will be jangling, I'm sure. Remember, he was fighting for race victory at Castle Combe last year in the early stages of one of the races, and then he made a mistake at the first corner and sent himself straight into the tyre wall, and we never really saw him that close to the front of the field again after that. But here he is, and he is now just a handful of corners away from that history-making first victory. One hole, that's been safely negotiated in towards Coram now, and of course Daly finishing in 2nd, that means that Daly's not going to lose too many points to Matt Parks. Matt did have a pair of top 5 finishes at Brands Hatch, so this is going to put him right into the championship equation. He heads out across the start-finish line, and Matthew Parks is going to take victory in round number 3 of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. His first ever win in the championship, and a great drive it was indeed. Stephen Daly in 2nd, Ian Jones in 3rd, Owen Hunter comes across the line in 4th, and then it will be David May who does no, it's Tom Griffiths, excuse me, who came home in 5th from David May in 6th. Rest of the field file through. There's some good battling going on a little bit further back by the looks of it. This is Simon Welch and he's chasing down. Oh, very, very sideways in front of him. That was rather close. That was Nick Edmond, I think, wasn't it? Who was getting sideways and loses the position. Yes, it is Nick Edmond, number 22. And I think he's going to lose the position here to the number 76 car of Simon Welch as he comes out across the start-finish line. That was for 25th place, but it shows you how intense the racing is up and down the order. So it's Matt Parks who wins from Daly and Jones. They're your podium finishers. Then Owen Hunter in 4th and Tom Griffiths 5th, who got the better of David May there right at the end. McMillan is 7th, Paul Hinton is 8th, then Ben Huntley and Keith Towers round out the top 10. Then it's Alan Caulfield, Mark Skeets, Wayne Flint, Matt Flowers and Craig Jameson rounding out the top 15 ahead of Liam McGill, Mike Doble, Aaron Morgan, David Sharp and Tim Scott-Andrews down in 20th. Mikey Doble was 21st ahead of Phil Adcock, Brendan Murphy, Martin Gadsby, Simon Welch 25th, then Nick Edmond, Jim Barrett, Phil Sharp, Craig Arkell and Andrew Woodbine, with Colin Way the last of the 31 finishers. We lost James Stanbury, Jason Bagley and David Ashforth, unfortunately, while Stephen Daly sets the fastest lap.
Well, Matt Parks, what a fantastic start to the weekend, and it was a brilliant victory. Talk us through.
We knew on Thursday we had great pace. In qualifying, we just couldn't show it fully. And Stephen is a good friend of mine, and he's helped me a lot through this and trying to get to this stage to go fast so we can race hard together. And that pace then, that sheer race pace was what we were fixed on Thursday, making sure we had it consistent for 15-20 minutes. The battle with Stephen is what I've been wanting for about a year now, really, and it come through today and it was clean.
Well, Stephen Daly, 2nd place and occasionally sideways. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to finish 2nd at some point, I suppose. It's never easy out there. Matt Park's done a fantastic job. My hat's off to him actually, because he pushed me right from the start and eventually got me after I made a mistake. So I mean, it really shows the champion that he has been in the past. You know what I mean? You can see that in his driving. So I mean, I'm happy he's up here. I really am. He's a good friend and we race clean. So happy to have the battles, and that's why I'm here.
Well, David, a fantastic victory in the first race in the Masters category. We know how tough it is. You must be absolutely exhausted.
I am exhausted, totally. Really takes it out of you. The whole year's been good from the start, from Brands to here. Just trying to keep the momentum going. It's very, very hard. My plan was to try and just keep with Owen and Ian, but they're fast drivers.
Welcome back to Snetterton, a very busy assembly area for the 2nd of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup races. The usual suspects are in the top 4, Parks, Daly, Jones and Hunter, and a lot of people saying the race is going to be between one of those 4. However, this is Snetterton. We could have a few other tricks up the sleeve for some of the other drivers. Of course, we've got our Masters winner from earlier, Mr. May. He's going to be an interesting one. However, as well as David May, we've also got Gordon McMillan in the Masters class, and he wasn't that far off the pace of David in race 1. You're going to give it another crack, aren't you?
I certainly am. I'm going to do my best. Me and David have had some great battles over the years, and I want to beat him. I want to get a Masters trophy.
So what is it that's so addictive about racing in the BMW Compact Cup compared to other classes of racing?
Well, I think 2 things, really. You've got a great bunch of people, a really sociable group of people, and it's really close racing. And you can't spend £1 million on your car and win. It's not checkbook racing. You have to be able to drive the car.
And obviously with people like David May to go wheel to wheel with, it should be quite a fight for you.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll do my best.
I'm sure you'll give us a show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jake. I'm certainly looking forward to this one. The grid lining up the way in which they finished race 1. So Parks, Daly, Jones, Hunter, Griffiths and May, your top 6 on the grid. Then Gordon McMillan and Paul Hinton, Ben Huntley and Keith Towers, Alan Caulfield just outside the top 10 in race 1, and Mark Skeets, one to watch from the outside of race 6. Then it's Wayne Flint and Matt Flowers, Craig Jameson and Liam McGill, Mike Doble and Aaron Morgan. The rest of the field filing in behind, but this is going to be, I hope, a repeat of what we saw in race 1, with Matt Parks most certainly taking the fight to Stephen Daly, and Ian Jones and Owen Hunter both there equally determined to try and take some points out of Daly if they can. But Matt Parks this time around starting from the inside of row 1, in theory the grippier side of the road, because that's actually the racing line up against the pit wall. A bit more rubber laid down there. Let's see what happens. 5-second board is raised. Look at the various on boards that we have up and down the order. We're on board with Owen Hunter though as the revs start to rise. We are ready to go racing in round number 4 of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. Away we go. difficult start by the looks of it from both front row men. On board with Paul Hinson a bit further back there. Lots of jostling in the middle of the pack. That looks like the number 82 car diving to the outside line there. That is Craig Jameson. But as the leaders turn their way in towards Rich's corner, Matt Parks has done it. He's converted pole position into the race lead at the first corner. Owen Hunter here battling away with Ian Jones. That's going to become, I think, a season-long battle, as we suspected last time out at Brands Hatch. Lock up there from Hunter on the outside. Tom Griffiths is still ahead of David May as well, 5th and 6th. But David May has got the Gordon McMillan right behind him. So the two of the Masters competitors that we were talking about in the assembly area, they've got themselves together on track. And look, they're side by side. In fact, McMillan's gone through, but then runs out wide, and David May is sideways. Oh no! David May sideways in front of the pack. Let's hope no one collects him. He's stranded in the middle of the road. Wayne Flint, Alan Caulfield have to go out wide to avoid him. That is such a shame, and not the way that we wanted that battle to go. Well, back at the front of the field, Stephen Daly has got Ian Jones trying to get up the inside of him. He might be able to do this down in towards Hamilton's now. Daly it is that hangs on. We've got Keith Towers there in the midfield. There's Phil Sharp. There's Wayne, no, it's not Wayne Flint, is it? A bit further back, but Wayne Flint, one of those cars that certainly was delayed in all of that up at Palmer's. And I don't know actually whether David May has been able to continue. I think he has, but quite some way down the order. So that was quite the dramatic start to the race. On board now with Keith Towers. That is Wayne Flint in front of us, and Keith Towers trying to find a way through as they make their way onto the Bentley straight. There is Phil Sharp. He's got Mikey Doble, that is, in behind him, as the leaders again are jostling for position. Lucky and Jones trying to get around the outside there of Stephen Daly down into Brundle and Nelson. Then it's Paul Hinson, Ben Huntley and Mark Skeets. That's this little trio of car. Hinson the black and yellow car, Huntley the black, grey and green, then the yellow and black is Mark Skeets as they bounce their way over the curbs at Nelson. This lot just about, I think, escaped David May's rotating car, but it was as he came back on the track, the cars behind that got caught up in it, unfortunately. On board now with Keith Towers. That's Alan Caulfield behind us as we turn our way through the long right-hand. Look at him fighting the wheel there through Gorham Corner and onto the brakes into Murray's for the first time. Wayne Flint in front of them. There is Tim Scott Andrew, that is, who has gained ground out of that. There's Mike Doble Senior, just ahead of Phil Sharp. But the leaders then, it is Parks that leads the way. Daly second. They've actually broken away slightly from Ian Jones in third, haven't they, over the second half of that opening lap. Daly out wide over the grass. That's not really conducive to quick lap times. Hard on the brakes now, the KC Motorsport car. Certainly keeping Parks honest here, but is Matt going to allow him through? Jones second, with them to third, and they've got Griffiths and David May right with them. They've not really been able to get away with the leading two so far in this race, and really we expected it to be Jones and Hunter that would keep Daly honest this year. If we can throw Matt Parks into the mix as well, and possibly even the likes of Tom Griffiths and Gordon McMillan, who's not David May, it's Gordon McMillan behind, then we're in for quite a season, I think. Onto the brakes into Agostini again, lap number 2. Jones now having to really go quite defensive to keep his sparring partner from all 3 races we've had so far this year, Owen Hunter and May. Owen Hunter turns his way through Hamilton, whoop, a bit wide there on the exit of the corner. That might leave a gap on the inside into Oggies there, but Hunter had to back out of it. These two are just so remarkably evenly matched, and that's what makes watching the race so entertaining, because you know that there's never going to be an easy pass. Race leaders then make their way through Palmer's for what I think is going to be the penultimate time of asking, and Stephen Daly still cannot find a way past Matt Parks. Down into the left-hander they're about to go, and a little think about going to the inside, and then a really late lunge. What a move from Stephen Daly. He will take the race lead, will he, from Matt Parks? Parks out wide over the curb, and he's on the outside for the next corner, and yes, Daly goes through. Sensational overtaking. Stephen Daly, that is why he is the reigning champion. Ian Jones follows him through into second as well, and Matt Parks down to third. But where on earth did that come from? Steve Daly, he lulled Matt Parks into a false sense of security then, and he made Matt think that he wasn't going to attack, and then when Matt didn't defend, Daly just launched judged it at the apex, got to the corner, and crucially got the car stopped, because if he hadn't have done, there was no way that Matt Parks could have avoided the collision. But it was a beautifully judged manoeuvre by Steve Daly. I've seen him do a similar thing in the past to James Gordon, actually, but it ended in contact. That was at Castle Combe last year. This time around, though, it was judged to perfection. So Matt Parks down to 3rd place now then, with Owen Hunter now on his tail in 4th. Owen Hunter on the grass in 4th, and that brings Tom Griffiths into contact with him again in 5th. But you've got a feel of it there for Matt Parks, because he really did nothing wrong. He just didn't think that he had to defend into Agostini, and Stephen Daly proved him wrong. It's not over yet though, because of course Ian Jones also came through with Steve Daly, and it's now Ian who is applying the pressure to Stephen Daly. I remember a couple of years ago Ian Jones having a real race with James Gordon here at Snetterton, and he tried to get through on the very last corner and had to cut straight across the grass at the final turn, and that was a very particularly memorable ending to a race. Ian Jones then gave the position back on the run back to the start-finish line. Last lap board has been hung out, by the way, so this is the final lap of the weekend. Stephen Daly, can he hang on to the race victory? Ian Jones pushing on in 2nd place though, as he tries to stay with him. If he can stay close enough to get a slipstream down the back straight, then anything is possible. Oh, and that helps as well. Daly running a bit deep there into the Wilson hairpin, so Jones, he's going to be closer than ever now as we go through Palmer's. Can he do to Daly what Daly did to Parks a lap ago? That's the next corner, Agostini, where Daly found a way into the race lead. Can Jones now take the race lead off him down there? It would be easier said than done, because Daly's already proven how strong he is on the brakes in that part of the circuit. Down towards Agostini they go. Jones is looking to the inside, but I don't really think he's close enough to make a genuine attack there. Indeed, he just skates a bit wide from the middle of the corner, and he now has fired up Matt Parks, trying to retake 2nd place from him. Further back, that's Keith Towers, dicing with Liam McGill, whose car, as I said earlier on, doesn't look great, but is still going fairly quickly. Alan Caulfield's not far behind these two. Towers down towards Agostini, doesn't feel that he needs to defend there. Was that a mistake, maybe? No, McGill not close enough. Bodywork flapping in the wings, in the wind. That car can't be the most aerodynamic out there on the circuit at the moment. The leaders, though, make their way through the right-hander at Wilson and down the Bentley Straight. And Steve Daly, well, look how close Ian Jones is. He's definitely going to get this slipstream, isn't he? So Daly is going to have to defend down in towards the S's. He's not leaving a chink of an opening on the inside. Now he goes to the middle of the road because Ian Jones has committed to the outside. They're both on the limits under braking there. Do they get it stopped for the right-hander? Daly runs a bit wide over the grass. Oh, Steve Daly, get it back on the road. He does. Ian Jones wasn't quite actually able to take advantage of that as fully as I thought he would be able to. And that might have been his last chance to do anything, because we are on the final lap of the race and we're heading up. No, we're not on the final. Yes, we are on the final lap of the race, beg your pardon. 15-minute races, of course, in the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, so this is going to be the last lap. And I don't think that Jones can do anything at the final corner. What about Owen Hunter on Matt Parks? That's going to be a drag race to the line. Matt Parks uses an awful lot of curb, but Stephen Daly, with one of the best overtakes that we've seen for quite some time in this championship, is going to take his 3rd race win of the year. He wins round number 4 of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. 2nd place goes the way of Ian Jones, 3rd for Matt Parks, 4th Owen Hunter, and 5th for Tom Griffiths. Gordon McMillan is 6th, then Paul Hinson, Ben Huntley, Mark Skeets and Keith Towers round out the top 10 finishers. Outside the top 10, Liam McGill was 11th, ahead of Alan Caulfield, Wayne Flint, David May and Matt Flowers, then David Sharp, Mikey Doble, Mike Doble, Tim Scott Andrews and David Ashforth rounds out the top 20. Next up were Jim Barrett, Aaron Morgan, Brendan Murphy, Craig Jameson and Martin Gadsby, ahead of Phil Adcock, James Stanbury, Nick Edmond, Craig Arkell and Andrew Woodbine, then Phil Sharp, Simon Welch and Colin Way at the back. Jason Bagley was a non-starter in that one after his mechanical dramas in race 1. What does that do to the championship standings there? Well, Owen Hunter is still 2nd, 17 points now behind Stephen Daly, but Matt Parks, look at that, joint 3rd now with Ian Jones, whilst Paul Hinson's consistent start to the season puts him 5th.
Well, Stephen, what a great way to cap off the weekend. A brilliant battle and a great win, but that was mighty, mighty close.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Parks definitely is a man of the match there for me. I mean, he held me off from pretty much start to finish, in fairness. I mean, I was trying to dig deep, trying to get Matt early on in the race. But he just had serious pace. I mean, the car just seemed planted this weekend, so it's really nice to see some really good challenges. Ian Jones almost got me on the last lap there, so I mean, we're really happy with that.
Well, Jonesy, 2nd position, so very nearly a win as well. That was quite a spectacle.
Yeah, So close, but not close enough. Nearly had Stephen around the outside, but we're both locking up, and it could have ended up very bad. But it didn't, so it's a good result.
Well, Matt, third position after the win earlier. That's not a bad pair of results considering how close the second race was.
Fantastic, really. It would have been nice to have repeated the first race, but we can't have them all. But it was still a good, clean, hard race between four friends, effectively, and great, fantastic result.